What's going on, everyone? So we're having some problems with the internet, so I'm going to try to do this video one more time. And for the edit, let's start once again. What is going on, everyone? So welcome to another video here at FK Irons, and today we're going to be talking about Darklab. We're going to be talking about Darklab current products. We're going to be talking about Darklab future releases, but we're going to be doing something super cool today, which is that I am going to stick a bunch of needles under this microscope, and we're going to be magnifying the view of the needle by 1,000 times. Okay, so this is gonna be pretty cool. This microscope actually is a an HD microscope. So if you guys are familiar with my last video, that microscope was an HD, so this one is supposed to give me better quality. So I have almost every configuration that we currently carry on the website. So we're gonna open a couple of boxes, and I want to show you guys why I think you guys may like this needle, at least from my point of view, why I like this needle and what I did, the things I did with this needle, so you guys can see and understand a little bit better what sets this needle apart from other needles out there. So let's begin. Let's make some ruining here. So I want to move some stuff on the side. Actually, let's put them right here. So what is everyone coming from today? I see that there are a lot of people joining us right now. Let me actually go back to the video manager, live streaming. There's gonna be a condensed version of this video. So if by any chance you miss it or anything like that, you know, we're gonna record it. And yeah, the quality of the video is a little bit poor, and I don't know why, because I'm trying to do everything as it's supposed to. I run a speed test before. So let me know, how do you guys see the video? Maybe something on my end. How's the quality? Just let me know about the quality. I'll really appreciate if you guys can help me out with that. So I'm just gonna run another speed test right now. I mean, I did this before I started the live. For some reason, it's giving me some crappy image. No, now it's a little bit better, right? From Daytona, Florida, we have people from California. How's the video quality, guys? Sound is coming across good. It's probably, the internet has been fluctuating here in the neighborhood, but it seems to be doing good right now. So quality is perfect. Okay, I like to hear that. Quality is 100% good. All right, guys, so we're gonna be talking about Darklab. I know that I have a lot of questions from you guys. You guys have been asking me a lot about these needles. You guys were super anxious to know when these needles were gonna drop at Darklab. So before I start talking about Darklab and we can print them on the microscope, I wanna talk a little bit about Darklab overall and put you guys, we've got a lot of needles here. So this is disaster bound to happen. As you guys know, I'm very spontaneous, very little preparation to do my lives, as always. I want to put these needles on the side. Actually, this is what we're going to be using today. This little device right here with light, super powerful HD. All right, so why Darklab? All right, so some of you know, guys, I've been working on a lot of products under the Darklab umbrella. One of the first product was, if I'm not mistaken, the the RPG grip. Remember that grip? That was the very first alternative, one of the first alternative to autoclavable grips for a cartridge system. After that, it came, I believe it was the foot switch, the Delta foot switch, which was the very first foot switch where you can disconnect the cable. So just to give you an idea of how these products, come to life, they basically are solving a problem of mine. Breaking course on foot switches led me to create a foot switch. Not having a good solution for grips is what it actually led me to create the very first grip. And then we evolved into the RPG click, where we introduced the ratcheting system and where you can actually break the grip apart and autoclave it. I think at that time was probably the first one, or one of the first one with that system and mechanism with a ratchet system. Then we introduced a bunch of disposable grips to make your life even easier. The first one was the RPG disposable. And then lastly was the Click Ergo disposable multicolor, which is a grip that we introduced not too long ago that I probably have some samples here. Somewhere in my box I have some samples here. So basically Darklab was a need to design products around the tattoo machine that I personally consider that were products that were needed. So we ended up with Darklab. So Darklab not only now offers tattoo machines, but now in grips and stuff like that, but now we offer a full array of tattoo supplies. So the idea of Darklab is going to be an up and going project that's gonna take some time, right? But I wanna tell you some of the things that we already have on our website and what you may wanna shop at Darklab. Number one, Every single order that is placed until 3 p.m. Eastern time ships the same day. Now we have multiple ways for you to ship your product. You can ship next day, you can ship 2 days, ground, air, the whole 9 yards. So that we have it under control. The second thing that is going to separate Darklab perhaps from other places that you may shop at is that we're going to have a subscription model. So you're going to be able to subscribe to those products that you know that you're going to need every month. So rather than spending time on your computer and actually searching for the product, making sure the product is in stock or anything like that, if you subscribe to the product, that's going to mean that we're going to have it in stock and you're going to get that product automatically delivered to your door. So we've learned how business is being conducted these days, and we're getting lazier and lazier by the century. So we want to deliver a solution. Again, not make you lazier, but make you spend more time tattooing and less time, worrying about the things that perhaps you don't like to worry about and you don't get paid to do so. So there you go. Just a little scratching here. So that is Darklab. So guys, Darklab is going to be driven by feedback as every single product that we make, and we're making improvements as the time goes by. So right now we have the medicals, right now we have the disposable, right now we have two type of needles. We have the Cheyenne needles and we have our own Vertix needles that I'm going to be talking about in a little bit. We also have inks. We're carrying inks from World Famous. We're carrying inks from Eternal inks. We're carrying Permablend inks. We're carrying Kurozumi. We're carrying Silverback inks. We have Intense. No Intense. We have Intense. We're gonna probably carry Intense very soon though. We have Dynamic, and the list goes on. So if there is a product at darklab.com that you don't see, send us an email and we'll make an effort to actually carry that product. Remember guys, Darklab is actually a conglomerate of product that it's actually curated by some of the pro team artists. So in Darklab, you're not gonna find perhaps everything that there is out there because we're only interested in carrying top products at Darklab. So in Darklab, you're gonna have products that have been tested and have been given the go by some of our friends and talented artists in the industry. So with that out of the way, you can actually go and check right now darklab.com. and you're going to be able to see everything we carry there. Now, if you're interested in maybe buying an FK Iron machines, you can now do it on Darklab. So rather than going on FK Irons and then coming back to Darklab to buy the rest, you can just buy everything on Darklab. Every single FK Iron machines. And also we have other machines like this Cheyenne Solnova that I'm also going to talk in a little bit. I hope I don't forget. Now, what else are we offering on Darklab? Well, Darklab is also catering to PMU artists, permanent makeup artists. So we have a huge array of permanent makeup products right now. And again, that list is continue to grow by the week. So my wife is actually in charge of that division. She's a permanent makeup artist. She's also an educator of permanent makeup. So guys, if either you, your wife, or a friend needs permanent makeup products, they're also going to be available to find them there. So we know that right now a lot of studios, they have the PMU section with artists that do all the facials and stuff like that, permanent makeup, and then they have tattoos. So now they can shop in one place. So with that out of the way, oh, and by the way, we launched the day of Black Friday. So we launched it on Black Friday, and since then we haven't stopped pushing products through Darklab. Now, the other thing that I want to mention before I jump on the Vertex needle is that Darklab, sorry, let me just drink a little bit of water. It's really hot, actually, too many lights. Another thing that I want to mention is that on Darklab, we're going to have all the major releases dropping there. So rather than dropping in all independent platforms like FK Irons, Microview, Darklab is going to be the hub. So you know that by following Darklab, by subscribing to a newsletter, by being on the website, by being a Darklab customer, you're going to get notified automatically of every single launch. So again, now with that out of the way, let's talk about Vertex needles. And I know that some of you guys have asked me a lot of questions. So feel free to type your questions right here at the end of the show. I'm going to be giving away a couple of boxes, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever I want to some of you guys. So stick around. I'm not going to take long, but I do want to show you guys my work for almost 2 years. Okay, so I've been working on these needles for 2 years, and I want to start by telling you guys that my first challenge with needle has always been, getting the right needle, either with the right quality of needle or with the right tension or with a good membrane or even the color, you know, of the needle or with a good tip and stuff like that. So it took us some time to find a partner to design these needles. It took us some time to actually come up with a better system. And again, to be honest with you guys, I'm not going to tell you here that, oh, all of a sudden I reinvented the wheel, because we reinvent anything, you know. Our needles are based on the Cheyenne system. And by the way, our needles are licensed by the Germans. So you know that you're buying a licensed product, okay? So we're paying for credit where credit's due. Not like other companies that they just take things and they make it their own. But anyway, that's not us. So anyway, Vertex needle was something that took a lot of time. It took a lot of testing. It took a lot of artists to test and let us know if that works or if that doesn't. So I know that you guys have been very, very anxious to get this product in your hand, and it's finally shipping. A lot of you guys have been using the needles, and so far the feedback has been great, guys. Now, I want to mention that Darklab is going to be an ongoing process, okay? And why is it an ongoing process? Because just like any product out there, you know, once you have thousands of units out there, you're going to start learning from your client base on things that they want you to do better or things that they want you to remove and stuff like that. So Vertex needle is not going to be no different. So we're going to be listening, and you can, you know, rest assured that every version of Vertex needle is going to be a better version than prior versions. So perhaps we're not going to have version 1, version 2, but the needle is going to go through an ongoing, constant ongoing enhancement of the performance of the needle, quality, if we can even enhance the quality, because we actually picked the best product, but we're not going to let any stone unturned. So that's that, guys. So okay, so now first of all, I want to greet you guys because I see that we have a lot of people from all around the world. And again, stick to the end of the video because I'm going to be giving away some of these needles right here. And let's see where you guys are from. We got people, like I mentioned before, Deltona. We got California. People are telling me that the quality is perfect. That's awesome. We got some people from Brazil. A lot of followers and fans from Brazil. So guys, thank you for tuning in tonight. So they're asking if we're planning to carry Starbright inks, and yes, we are going to be carrying Starbright not too long from now. So just again, hang on, guys. A lot of orders have been placed. A lot of things, you know, we're waiting for certain things to arrive and stuff like that. So keep the feedback coming. That's going to be very important. Keep the feedback coming. Let us know which products you want to see that perhaps we don't have right now, because we're here to listen and here to deliver. Slam is currently using some other needles, and he's looking forward to use these needles. Jorge Brito is actually wanting the texture. And guys, the texture needles from Vertix are coming in, just like the bug pins are coming in. Remember, the first, just tell you a little bit of story about this if you care on a Friday night. But we got our containers stuck in custom. And the reason why we got those containers stuck in custom, and I'm going to be frank with you and honest, guys, is because the way the items were declared. So now we're require additional paperwork, and there's a little bit back and forth with the factory in order to provide that information. But at least we got some needles in our hands. We order a lot of needles, So we got, what I have right here is about 30 configurations, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, something like that. And I have more needles there in the box. So I'm going to go over some of the needles that we have right now, guys. Wise Colon say, I can wait to try them on my Xion. So guys, if anyone has actually used the Vertix, let us know here in the chat. Let us know what you think. That would be awesome. Again, end of the video, giveaway. Stick around. I see my internet starting to flicker, so hopefully we're going to be able to do this video and nothing is going to happen. So I have my mighty microscope right here. So I'm actually going to flip like this, and excuse this cable that you guys are going to see. I'm probably going to switch to the overhead camera as well. Let me see. See? You guys can see what I'm doing right now, and then I'm going to switch to the microscope, which is this thing. Look, that's my finger. So, pretty cool, right? All right, guys, so what do you want me to review first? Which is the first needle that you want me to pop in? Right here. Would you like to see a magnum? Would you like to see a liner? Would you like to see a 20-something? A middle mag? A tiny liner or so? What you guys think, and you guys type it right here in the comment below. I'm gonna show you the box, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna put this away for a second. I'm gonna show you the way you should expect the box. I'm sure the knockoffs are gonna start flying very, very soon, as always. So this is what you should expect from the needle. One of the things that you guys wanted to know is how many needles are there coming with the Vertix. And you can see it right here. 20 needles, guys. So not 10 needle game, just 20 needles. One purchase, you know, get it out of the way. The box is almost the same as the 10 that some other suppliers sell. So we got 20 needles right here. You have this little drawing. I mean, it's actually a 3D drawing of our single liner cartridge, or the 3, I believe. This is the logo. You know, get familiar with this logo. Very nice logo that I designed myself, and I'm very proud of it because I made so many versions of this logo. Now, kudos to our graphic design crew that actually came up with this design. Chris, Nabor, Dom, and the whole 9 yard. They actually did an amazing job with the box. Because in order we wanted to have one of the best needles, we wanted to have also one of the prettiest boxes out there. So now we have, this is the front of the box. This is the side of the box. This is what you should expect. Now this is the box, the back of the box. And we have the UV lamination there. You see that shiny thing, really nice and shiny. Over here, there is a drawing that I want you guys to take a look at, because I am going to be talking about this feature in just a moment. Okay, so remember, from day one, when we launched the Xion, we recommended using the Xion with cartridge with membrane. Recommending is not the word. We actually enforce you guys to use only cartridges with membrane. And why use cartridge with membranes with any tattoo machine, even if you can dispose of the machine? Well, it's very plain simple. You are in touch with a subject, you know, a human being, blood and ink. Now, the needle pushes ink, but at the same time, the needle can actually suck in anything else that comes out. So at some point, there's going to be a mix of blood and ink. And that mix of blood and ink is actually going to travel at some point to your machine if the cartridge doesn't have a membrane. So with that said, guys, I mean, there is no reason why any of you guys, any tattoo artist in the world should be tattooing with cartridges with no membrane. Now, having a membrane is not gonna exempt you from, you know, hazard, but it's one barrier that you can actually put right there to get that out of the way. Now, next month in February, we also are going to be coming out with the disposable Xion grip. So we're going to have 3 sizes. We're going to have the slim, which is actually kind of like the Xion S. It's actually even slimmer. So if you have a small hand, or if you you know, are into permanent makeup and you have a Xion S, you're going to be able to use those grips and dispose them after every single tattoo. Then we have the original, which is actually the same size as, where is it? The same size as this one, but disposable. Obviously, it's going to be actually all black. Then we have the Gorilla. Everyone is asking about the Gorilla. Where are the Gorillas? Well, the Gorillas are actually coming, and the first debut is actually in disposable form. So those are going to be coming out next month. So I think we are maybe, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks away from that, and we're pretty excited. Now, going back to the needles. So that is the plain reason why, if we were going to design a cartridge system, is going to have membrane, just for the simple fact that we want to minimize, you know, cross-contamination. But it doesn't end right there. So one of the things that we've learned among all the studies that we have done, and all the tests and all the prototypes and putting things under the microscope, you know, you guys, I love that stuff. You know, I love the geeky techy thing and get scientific with tattooing. So one of the things that we found out is, and again, this is not trashing any brand, because this doesn't mean that the product has a problem. It just means that this product actually takes an approach to a potential problem. And what is that potential problem? And this is where I'm going to actually switch the camera one more time here to the box. And let me see right here. Hold on one second. There you go. All right, so pay attention to this. Now, this is the box, okay? And I wanted to make sure that this illustration is in the box so you guys can understand what, you know, what goes on in here. I'm actually gonna zoom out a little bit more. I'm about to catch a cold or something like that. That's why I'm a little bit, my voice is a little bit grindy. All right, so this is the cartridge. This is actually a split view of the cartridge. Now, you guys are gonna realize that our cartridge, unlike any other cartridge, doesn't have the hole at the top that most cartridges have. Now, why is that? But instead, we have 2 holes on the side, so dual vents. Now, why we did that? Okay, so one of the things that we discovered in our research to design a better system is that no matter how fast or how slow your machine works, at some point, pigment and blood is going to spray through that tiny hole. Let me show you again. So if you have a hole right here at the top, sooner or later, you are going to have some sort of pigment actually coming up. So yeah, the membrane is good to actually trap any flow of liquid or pathogens that actually travel up the cartridge, but it's not good enough to actually stop anything from actually leaking out or spraying through the tiny hole that most machines have at the top, right? So imagine a cartridge as a little syringe. When you pull out from a syringe, you're creating suction. Now, with this cartridge, the same thing is happening, especially with liner cartridges. They're very tight. The grip is very tight and enclosed. It's more enclosed than others. The needles reciprocate at 130 hertz per second, so that means 130 times. That's that in and out. So it's creating some vaporizing mist that tends to leave the cartridge from the tip, and it also tends to leave the cartridge from that one hole, right? Now, why does it leave from one hole and maybe not from the front of the cartridge? Well, it's very simple. You only have one tiny orifice for the cartridge, kind of like to breathe. Now, remember that we mentioned that these cartridges have a membrane. And what does the membrane do? The membrane seals the cartridge. So if the membrane is sealing the cartridge, basically, there is no way for oxygen or air to escape other than through that hole. That is the first path for the air that comes from the tip of the needle to actually exit. So that is the first spot. Now, think of this. That needle, with most cartridges, that hole is actually on top of you, right? So you're going to see the problem with magnums. Nobody works with a magnum kind of like this. Yeah, sometimes you can angle the magnum, but most of the time we're going to work with the magnums in this direction. Why? Because, we're not going to ride the magnum like that unless we, intend it. But most of the time we're going to ride the magnum in this direction. So if my magnum is riding like this and I'm actually close to my subject, now that hole is pointing right straight into my nose. Unless you're one of those artists that kind of like work like that, but nobody does that. And if you do that at some point, you want to get close to the action. That's why some artists wear a mask, which is something very smart to do, guys. And we have those at Darklab. But I wanted to put 2 holes rather than one, and I'm going to explain why. And instead of putting that hole at the top, we actually routed that hole on the side. So check this out. There you go. So having the hole here actually decompresses the cartridge. So not only now you have 2 vents for the air to escape, but now you're decompressing the cartridge. So rather than creating a vacuum, you're minimizing the suction effect, that the pumping effect that the cartridge and the membrane produce when the needle is actually working. So now, the air has more room to escape, and not only one orifice, but 2. So this minimizes the chances. Now, this doesn't weigh chances, but minimizes chances, right? So now add to that, the holes are actually located on the side. So now, even if there is something coming out, it's actually going to be routed to the side, away from your nose and your breathing. So that was the concept number 1. So enough talk. Let me show you the needles, and I'm actually going to pick one of the needles that you guys have suggested here. Let's see. So we have someone okay, let's see. Liner, 70, 13, 17, 7 round liner, 23 curve. All right, I have a little bit of everything. So let's start with one needle right now. Let me see. So you guys said liner, 7 round liner. Okay, so I have 7 round liner right here. 7 round liner for the folks. Actually, let me share right here. I'm going to put the needles right now. So we have, boom. So we have 7 round liner here. What else? You guys wanted to see, what's the other one you guys wanted to see? 23. Let me see if I can find the 23. Here we go. We have the 23 right here. I told you guys I brought a little bit of everything. We got the 23 right here. Can you guys see very well? I'm gonna actually zoom out so I can have more needles. All right, so I have the 23. What's the other one that you guys wanted to see? 17. Do I have 17? Yes, I have 17 too. Boom, 17. You know, this is going live, man. So we got the 17 right here. Where's the other needle? 13 magnet. Do I have Yeah, I got everything you guys asked me. Kind of like if I knew that you guys were gonna ask for that. So we got the 13 right now. And what's the other needle? Oh, let me see. Someone wanted to see. Yeah, what's the other one? So I have the 7, the 17. That's it. All right, guys. If you want to see a particular, if you guys want to see a particular round, let me know and I'll pop it. So I want to make a little bit of room, guys. Okay. So now this is gonna take some time because I'm gonna set up the microscope, and we're gonna get up and close with this needle. So let me put this pile on the side. Right there. Just gonna move something around. I want to drink a little more water. I always wonder why people on TV have a mug, and now that I'm doing this live, I realize why, because you need to clean your throat. All right, so I'm gonna start with the 7 round liner, okay, guys? So 7 round liner here. Check this out. We're gonna open this box. We're gonna open this box in front of you guys and see how this needle come pack. First needle ever to make it to YouTube. The 7 round liner from Vertix by FK Irons and Darklab. Now, this is what you should expect. You should expect the needles come blister packed, of course, and also they are actually EOS gas sterile. I actually saw the machine that sterilizes this needle because I've heard that a lot of manufacturers are not actually sterilizing the needle. They just actually have a color dot and not necessarily are sterilizing the needle. So we actually sent people over there just to make sure that this happened, and indeed, this is happening with every single needle. All right, let's put the needle in the box, the rest of the needle in the box. So we have, again, remember 20 needles, so we have 5 slabs of 5 needles. So, all right, let's get one needle. Let's read some of the information. That's very important as well. Some of the information on the needle may change as we actually make the system even better, you know, the numbering and naming and stuff like that. But so far we have right here the item number, so 7 round liner, the lot number, because we want to know if something happened. We want to know what lot the glitch happened at. So this is the reason why we have that. And again, every manufacturer should have a lot number in their inks and their needles, guys. So that's a good indication that they're doing the right thing. Also, expiration date, which is, in this case, is December 2023. We're in 2019, so we have 4 years to use these needles. Now, EO gas sterile is very, very, very safe when used properly. So these needles have gone through that process because this thing should turn brown. Now, should you guys get this thing in any other color, please return the box. Don't use it. Let us know. We'll handle it, okay? But as you know, as far as we know, we never had a problem with that. All right, now let's open the first needle, and we're gonna do this here on the microscope. We're gonna go scientific. I'm pretty excited about this. You know that when people do video, they say, "Oh, guys, I'm very excited," but I'm actually excited about this because this is the first time I'm using this microscope. It's the first time I use this microscope, so that makes me excited because I love gear. All right, so yeah, I see, guys, you're going bananas now, and I really appreciate it because I love when you guys get excited. I'm gonna be giving away this needle at the end of this video, so stick around. All right, so this is the 7 round liner. Round liner, I'm gonna have to switch to the microscope. So from now on, you guys are gonna switch to the microscope. Now, one thing that you guys are gonna realize is that I am gonna have to sometimes adjust the focus on the microscope. Now, the first thing that you're gonna see, and something that took us a lot of back and forth, was the solder of the needle. Now, look at the solder. Now, that solder actually repeats over and over at the same distance. I believe it's 5 millimeters from the tip of the needle. So that solder stops in every single needle there. Now, this is, what was this? the round line. This is a semi-round liner. So check this out, guys. Now, this is what I would consider a standard traditional semi-round liner. Now, we also have the 7-round tight liner, okay? So the super tights, the difference with the super tight is that, you know, the needles actually solder closer together. Now, check this out. Look at this needle, how clean this needle is. Now, one of the things, and I don't know if you guys remember, I've done a video, my older microscope, putting a bunch of brands on the microscope, and we realized in that live, and it's something that I actually didn't even do before, it was live for the first time, I realized that a lot of needles, they have a lot of particle and dust and wax and flux, and they're nasty, some needles out there. So every single needle that before it gets back, it has to go through an optical checkpoint. There's a camera that actually checks the needle, and after the optical, there is actually a human check of the needle under a microscope. So we had a double check for the needle because we don't want any needle to have any particle of anything. So if the needle's not shiny, we have a problem. That needle doesn't make it to the blister pack, and that's it. We never sell that needle. So check this out. So this is that needle, right? So this is the semi-round liner. Now let me show you the geometry of the tip. And in fact, believe it or not, this tip is undergoing some enhancements as we speak. There's nothing wrong with the tip. I'm just a little bit picky and I want the things better. So this one has an opening right here, so it allows you to flush the needle, you know, easier. And again, air is gonna escape from there before the air is gonna escape from there. So there is less chances of things going wrong. Okay, boom and boom. I'm gonna show you this one time because, you know, as I show you the now, one thing that you're gonna realize, and this is something very important, there are some needles, and this is gonna happen right here. Let me see if I can get actually, hold on one sec, I'm gonna get something to point at. Now, I hope you guys can see this. What I'm trying to show you guys, there you go. This cap, the diameter of this cap is actually smaller than the diameter of the shell. And I actually bust people's patience with that because some cartridges, this thing, not necessarily plugs concentrically, but sometimes this thing is actually bigger than the shell. And that causes, in many situations, the cartridge to actually break apart when you try to extract it from your machine. You know, you spin, you extract, and sometimes it kind of like snacks in your machine, and then you remove the cap. I don't know if that happened to you guys, but it had happened to me many, many times. And also something that we saw in that review that I did, I think it was last year, sometimes I think beginning of the year, I did that review, and we realized that some needles, actually, they don't align the components. So with mold injection, sometimes it's hard, and one of the things that we wanted to make sure is that that cap was actually a smaller diameter than the shell, so there's never chances for that cap to snag. That's one thing. Now, the other thing that I want to show you guys, you can see that there is no hole at the top. The quality of the needle. There you go. So nothing exciting about a 7-round liner. So I think now, once we jump to the other configuration, which it was, what's the next one? The next request was a 23 Magnum, and that's what we're gonna be showing right now. So I know you guys are there, hanging on. Yes, there's a video that I show how to tune a coin machine. I'm gonna do that video again, guys. So everyone is asking for that video. I'm gonna do that video. Should I make it today? No, maybe not, because I don't even have coils. Oh, no, I do have coils machine here. Oh, we'll see. All right, guys, so now 23 Magnums, you guys are going to see how cool these needles are and how clean. And also, you're going to be able to tell a little bit more about the needle soldering process. All right, so let me show you before I actually toss this out of the way. So this is the 23. There you go. Where is it again? There you go. You can read 23 there. Here. 23 Magnum. There you go. Let me just move the screen here and this one here. There you go. All right, so let's go. Let's dive in with the 23. Okay. So we're putting the 23 under the microscope. Call this a microphone a bunch of times. And we're gonna focus on manual focus, old school. Now, there you go. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Now look at the taper of those needles. This is the 23 flat. Look at the taper of those needles and look at the distance. Let me see if you can show, there you go. Now remember, this is magnified 1,000 times. Look at the sharpness of that magnum. Now, all needles feature Japanese steel, so some manufacturers use Chinese steel. This is Japanese steel, meaning that we import the steel in spool, actually, from Japan. It's the best steel. You know, it's the steel used for syringes and stuff like that, suitable for the medical field. So look how clean these needles are, guys. And this is one thing that I gotta be honest with you. It took a lot of time to get needles that are super clean and sterile. Look at the size of the solder. And you guys can see right here that the solder, again, very evenly. You're gonna see some needles where the solder goes all over the place. Not the case here with these needles. Also, we have that little bridge of retention of the needle, pretty standard. And you know, one of the things that I wanted to achieve with these needles is, let me actually switch cameras. You know, a lot of the times, you know, needles come like too spread apart, and I always happen to remove the tip, and you can do that with a few brands, and flatten the stack. At this point, what I have done with these needles, actually, I have ensured that the stacks are actually separated in a way that I like it, in a way that I know that I'm gonna get good flow, because sometimes I don't understand why certain manufacturers, you know, will have the needles with the stacks like this. You know, you're not pushing right the pigment, the needles are not working together, and sometimes you don't get smooth results. So with these ones right here, I ensure that that happens from the get-go, so you don't have to break the needle apart. Now, let me show you this. Should you want to customize your needle in any way, remember, back in the days when we were using coil machines or even rotaries, you know, we flex the bar, we flex the needle stack. One of the things that I like to do was to actually flex the needle stack before tattooing. So with these needles, and the reason why we went with this system, you can actually unplug the tip of the needle. Obviously, with clean gloves, you can actually do any necessary adjustment on your needles. The needle also has a slight bend downward as well, just to remain in contact with the tip. Not too big, oh, actually, I'm gonna put it here. Check it out. But this is what I'm talking about, guys. When the needle gets in contact with the tip, the stack actually lowers even more, and it gets kind of like that, okay? Because this has a little bit of tension. So here's the thing, you know, you can have either way too close together or way too separated together, but you always have to have the right, you know, amount of separation in order to get nice, nice performance of your needle. I'm actually trying to read the chat and at the same time do this live. Let me see, what do you guys say? So Howard is asking about the stainless steel. You know what? That's a good question, because I remember that we actually tested a bunch of steels. I remember 316 was in the mix. 440 also was in the mix. I believe it's 316 if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not so sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm gonna get you guys that information for the next video. As a matter of fact, also we're gonna have the, that's one of the things that we're gonna be doing with the next batch of needles. We're gonna have the material of the needle in the box, the diameter of the needle in the boxes, as you guys know, buck pin. But what is buck pin? All right, so buck pin is anything that's smaller than standard. So what's standard? So we're actually going to be very, very clear with the way we label the needles, and actually we're enhancing the labeling of the needles so you understand needles better, because buck pin number 2, number 12, number 8, number 10 doesn't tell you anything. Now, if I tell you that the needle is a .25 caliber needle, that's it. You understand what it is. You can actually measure it. So that's that. All right, so this is the .23, guys, and let me show you here the solder. Now look what a nice pool of solder we have in the part where the stem makes contact with the solder. So there are two levels of solder. We have the solder of the needle stack, because the needles actually get built separately. They don't get built with a little rod that you see right there. So all the needles actually get built. That makes it easier for quality control to actually inspect the needle. And then we have the big chunk of solder that ensures that the needle is very well stuck together and stuff like that. Now you may see like some sort of scraping and stuff like that, because there is additional labor that goes into every needle. Now when you solder, for those that understand electronic and stuff like that, when you solder, you sometimes get a little bit of splatter of the solder itself, and I don't want none of that splatter to be anywhere in the needle. So the needles actually, like I mentioned before, they get optically checked, manually checked, and if there's anything that has to actually be tweaked with brushes and stuff like that, it also gets done there. So it's a long process, guys. And actually, next time I'm actually in overseas, I'm actually gonna film how these needles are built. These needles are made in China, guys, okay? So you know that no one else than the Chinese can build needles, and this is a reason why we're doing it there. So that's gonna be for another video, show you the whole operation. Now, let's move on, guys. Let's move on. Any questions so far? All right, so I just wanna move fast with the needles and not get hung up on one, there you go, one configuration. Now, when you are actually popping the needle back into the tip, if you happen to remove the tip to make that adjustment, be very careful. Remember, there is a bridge that keeps the needles. I'll show you the bridge here. With the magnums, we have this bridge that actually keeps the magnum from rattling or moving as you're shading. So you gotta stick it under the bridge, guys, okay? Don't make the mistake not to do so, and then you can damage the needle that way. So that's it. This was the 23 Magnum, and now we're gonna, there you go. One last look at the needle. They all end at the same direction, and they all staggered by the same amount of space. So precision, precision, precision. Now let's move forward with the other configuration that you guys wanted me to check, and this one right here is the 17 Magnum curve. So finally we're going to review a curve, and this is something again that took me a lot of back and forth, because a curved needle doesn't tell me much if I don't see how curved the needle is, right? And this is something that I realized with a lot of other needles that I've tested and used in my life. Then the curve, to me, has to be slight curve. Now I see some needles with a curve like this, or like that. So I wanted to make sure that you're gonna get a curve, but at the same time, you're gonna be able to use those needles, because if the curve is like this, now you have very little contact with the skin. So you may be tattooing and shading with the 23, but only 9 needles are actually touching the skin. So what's the point of going with a 23? So in my case, with this needle, our curve has been designed to actually allow you to tilt at about 5 degrees or so, and still take advantage of the entire needle surface. So we're gonna see this with the, the 17 curve. Sorry, I gotta show you the box. Let's do it. All right, so here we go, 17 curve. You guys can see it right there. Removing one needle. Oh, and check this out. This, you're gonna see on our needles, is a quality control stamp. That means that after every single needle, and thank God I saw this, because I was going to talk about this. So once the needles are done, they are actually packed, and then finally they put it like that. Once the needles, all the needle pass inspection and stuff like that, they put it like that. And once the packing itself passes quality control, that there is no needle in the odd direction or anything like that, this stamp gets placed on the box, and then we close the box and we put it, we pack it ready to ship, from the factory. So that's that. All right, so we got the 17 Magnum curved. Stick around, because I'm gonna be giving away a couple of boxes today, guys. I don't know how I'm gonna give them away. So once again, we have the reactive strip right here, brown 17 curved Magnum. You have the lot number there, and you have the expiration date of the needle. Now, let's put this needle one more time. Oops, sorry. Let's put the needle one more time under the microscope, and let's see what this needle is all about. One day I'm gonna have help, you know, someone switching the camera for me, but not yet. So here's the needle. And we have it right here. Now I'm gonna switch to our HD microscope. We're gonna take a look at a 17 Magnum and at its curvature. And because I just have the 23, I want you guys to see the difference between both. Now, see that the curve of our needles are a slight curve. This is a straight, and let me actually put the angle right. This is a curved, and this is a straight. The one right here is a 23, and the one right over here is a 17. Now, look at the roundness of that curve. As you guys can see, that curve is not excessive. You know, it's a curve. I believe there's 0.40 millimeters from the tip of the longest needle, 0.30 millimeters, something like that. So honestly, you're gonna be able to use all the needles of your Magnums, but at the same time, you're gonna get a soft edge from the retracting needle from the side, guys. So that's one of the things. So basically, we're not gonna see much different from this needle other than the shape of the end of the needle, the curve. Okay. Now let's take a look. Let's take a look here of the solder. Look how clean the solder is, and look how clean the entire needle is. Super clean. There you go. You can see right there the curve. See? You see one needle almost touching the edge, but the other ones are a little bit behind the tip of the needle. So again, curves, you know, curves, there are a lot of curves, but I personally don't like needles when they're curved way too much. And you know, a slight curve is what I went with the entire line of curved needles, because you know, if you get 23 needles, you're gonna expect to use 23 needles. Now, another thing that I noticed is that when the curve is too pronounced, it actually gives you a false expectation of what you're gonna render on the skin, because you know, you see this white grip, and all of a sudden, like, you work and you're not getting the saturation that you would expect from the surface. So that doesn't happen with this type of curves. You actually get you get the same saturation as with a flat, but you have that soft edge, which is gonna minimize, you know, trauma depending, you know, how fast you move your hand or in the directions that you move your hand. So that's their curved needles. Now I'm gonna go back to the chat and I'm gonna see what you guys are up to here. Good question. So Carlos Morales is asking for the coil machine configurations. Those are actually coming up right now in a couple of days, in a couple of weeks maybe, Darklab.com. They're actually, I believe we actually went with Darklab rather than Vertix because we wanted to keep Vertix for the cartridges. But same needle quality that you see here, you're going to see on the Darklab traditional needles for coil machines or for, you know, the standard needle bar on Darklab.com. And I expect they're going to come in about 2-3 weeks on the website, so darklab.com. Now, Ted Wilson is asking for the bug pins. Where are the bug pins? Well, the bug pins is that container that we're trying to clear from customs. It's actually in Miami. It's so frustrating having thousands of boxes of needle that we can actually get out because of bureaucracy and stuff, but we're working on that, guys. So Wise Galone say that's the perfect curve. I don't know if it's perfect. I mean, I'm glad you think the same way, but right, guys. I mean, if you're gonna buy 23 needles and you're only gonna be able to use 9 or 11 needle, what's the point? And that goes to show you guys that sometimes, you know, those designing products, they either don't tattoo or they don't know what they're doing. So nothing at Darklab or FKR goes out without the approval of a bunch of artists in the industry. And this is the reason why we take so long to release products. And this is the reason why you guys get anxious and you're like, stop teasing them. It's not just not teasing you guys. It's actually keeping you in the loop with what's going on at FK Iron. So we saw the 23. We saw the 7-round liner. The Curve Magnum we already showed. I'm gonna show you guys the 13 Magnum curve, which is not gonna be much different, but I promised that I was gonna show you the needle that you wanted. Oops, I broke this one. So I'm gonna switch to the microscope. We're gonna make it super simple and put this needle out here. Boom. All right, so this is the 13. Now the 13, it's an amazing needle configuration. Now, notice one thing. This is another thing that I want to show you guys. You have to change the curvature of the needles as the round gets bigger. And this is the example that I was telling you, that sometimes some needles are way too curved because it's like they keep the same curve across the needles. And that curvature actually changes as the needle gets wider. So as the needle gets wider, you gotta drop the recessed end of the needle. You gotta drop it, you gotta drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. Why? Because it's easier to move it with circular motion a needle that's like a 9 or a 13 or a 7 than it is to move a 27 needle or 23, right? The more needles you have, the more surface in contact you're gonna have on the skin. Therefore, you have to adjust this angle in order for those needles to do the work, right? Now, with smaller needles, it's easier. The angle's actually gonna increase, and this is what I wanna show you guys right here. And again, this is just my observation from using many needles and reviewing many needles before. So as you guys can see, you see a much more pronounced curvature, still not a sick or insane curvature, but when you compare the curvature of this 23 versus the 13, you're gonna realize that there is a little bit of different in the way the needle curves. Now, again, one more time, look at that solder right there. Look at how clean the needles are, and shiny and clean and polished. So that's that. Oh, another thing that I want to talk about. You're going to see another thing from our needles. I made an adjustment of how much the needle retracts when the machine is off, or when the needle is off the machine. There are some, in my experience, some machines, it requires you to push way too much, or actually adjust the grip way too further back to actually push the needle out. Now, as an example, I'm going to show you how much needle you're going to get out. Let me just move this for a second. There you go. So you're going to get about this much of needle sticking out when you push the cartridge. Now, I don't recommend you guys do this to push, because no needle should ever work all the way in. Okay, and now you're jeopardizing the membrane. So usually needles go as far as that. Okay, so that's another thing that I wanted to do, guys. And there is about 7 millimeters. Yeah, 7 millimeters of needle sticking out. Something to keep in mind. I realized that sometimes, you know, with certain cartridge, I almost ran out of clicks with my grip when I want to get a nice angle of the needle. But with this one, you're not gonna have that problem. I mean, the needle is not just one problem. A lot of the time is the size of the push bar, and sometimes the geometry of the machine. If they have the armature too recessed from the vise, then you're gonna have that problem. Now, let's put this needle back on the. So here we go. Clean, clean, clean. Now, the geometry of the tip is very similar. There's not a lot of science here on the tip. In this particular tip, I just went with a tip that, you know, gives me the best comfort. Actually, we work with a manufacturer to get this type of tip, you know, lined up. So now the magnums, okay, this is another thing that I wanted to show you guys, and this is what I'm trying to gain focus right here. You can actually see the separation of the stack. It's just about right. No overly exaggerated. Now look how you have here angle at the bottom of the needle, and of course, you know, you have a low profile right there. One of the things that a lot of artists ask is that some needles, they are too wide on the side, so the walls of the magnums, they are too wide, and some needles are actually flat. But you never, the problem is if the needle is flat, the needle tip is flat, not at an angle, then it just becomes a little bit harder to, like, you know, gain motion and spread the ink, you know, with ease. So we went with this side profile. Let's check it out, where the bottom of the grip is also at an angle. And again, a lot of needles do this. I'm not saying that every needle is that, but just wanted to ensure that I show you that, guys, so you can actually picture in your head basically how this needle is gonna perform. And the walls are pretty thin, actually, as thin as the edge right there. It's almost there, so it's very thin. Look at this, is actually really thin. So remember, we're magnified 1,000 times right here. Now, reading a couple of your questions, guys, and probably I'm going to wrap this up, and I'm going to do the giveaway. All right, so Lucy Maya is asking, will the Nano have acupuncture needle? Now, there is a line of these needles called the Vertix Nano. Those are coming out also in a couple of weeks as well. The box is different. The price is a little bit different too. Those needles actually have different tips, and they are designed for permanent makeup. Kind of. I mean, it can be used for tattoos. But those tattoo needles actually are thinner, and we're going to have needles as thin as 0.2 millimeter single needles. And we also designed some magnums that obviously for tattooing, I don't know if a lot of you guys are gonna dig them, but we designed a 3 magnum and a 5 magnum single stack U curve, okay? And the tip is super small profile, but that's not for you guys, that's for another video. But that answers that question of Lucy. Lucy, we're gonna carry all the needles as well for your Xion machine and machines alike over there. Now, let me show you something. Because a lot of you guys ask me that do permanent makeup about this machine right here. Now, this is one of our new releases. This machine actually is shipping in a few weeks. This is the Microview Belar. And let me compare you guys this machine side to side next to the next to a regular Xion. This machine is really, really thin. Look at the motor. Now, the motor has a lot of power. So it's a premium motor. We also customized this motor to actually deliver a lot of punch. And you can fit also any needles in this machine right here. Now, this machine is called Belar, and it comes out of the under the Microview umbrella. So as you can see, the needle flush is really nice there, and the grip, and it makes a really nice pen tool actually. Check it out. Very, very tiny. Now, all the permanent makeup releases also at darklab.com. So if you're interested in that, rush to the website, check it out. This machine actually is available for pre-order right now because it's starting to ship at the end of the month. So this is the black one. We have it in black, and also we have it in silver. So guys, I wanted to give you an overview of the Vertix needles. There's going to be a video, a much more in-depth video about the needles, but a lot of you guys send a lot of emails. We're asking a lot of questions, and there are more questions that are going to be answered with a much proper video. But today I just wanted to do this video for you guys. It's Friday, it's the weekend. I figure a lot of people are going to be there connected. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give a couple of these needles away to you guys. So this is what I'm going to do. I have it. I have an idea. I'm actually going to pick a box, and you guys, okay, I'm gonna give you guys time because I know this video takes some time to refresh and hit the web. So it's usually like a 10-second lag that we have. So I'm gonna wait for this. Now, I'm gonna give you the time to guess which needle configuration I have in my hand. So for that, when I say 3, not before 3, you are actually gonna type the needle configuration that I have in my hand. So the first person that guesses the needle configuration that I have in my hand, it is going to win this needle that I have right here. All right. So, because I want to do for a couple of you guys, and you guys gotta wait until I say 3. I know that some of you guys are already throwing numbers, so that doesn't count. So, 1, 2, 3. Now you can start typing. Go ahead. I'm just waiting. I'm looking at the chat right here. Let me see. No, 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 no. Yeah! Freedom Fighter. Freedom Fighter. You're the winner. Check this out. Woo. Focus, focus, focus. And you're the winner of the round liner. That's it, guys. Stop, because I'm going to give another one. That's it. We got Freedom Fighter winning this needle. Let me show you the needle because I think you guys can see it very well. So Freedom Fighter, you actually won the round liner 9. All right, so get in touch with us at service@fkirons.com and tell them that you are the winner. By the way, you have to be a tattoo artist. If you're not a tattoo artist, we won't ship to you, so be ready for credentials. Now, I'm going to give away another needle, guys. Not that. There you go. So I'm gonna be giving away another box of 20 needles. And I have it right here in my hand. So when I say 3 one more time, you guys are gonna tell me which configuration I have in my hand, and the one that guesses the best, the first, gets the needle. All right, so 1, 2, 3, go. So Freedom Fighter's the customer, so no problem there. We have it in the database. Simply just let us know that you're the winner of the 9-round liner, and we'll ship that to you. Look at Lulu Siciliano. Wow. All right. Eddie Couture, what's up, man? Ooh, 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 ooh. Carlos asking what we need to verify while you guys keep typing. If you're a tattoo artist, you know, your work, where you work and stuff like that. All right. Oh, man. Some of you guys were close. Well, I mean, okay, Eddie Couture is the winner because this one is a 27 Magnum curve. Of course, I'm not going to let you guys guess if it's a curve or not. It's a 27 Magnum. So, Eddie Couture, you are the winner of this. And again, contact us at service@fkirons.com. We'll send you your needle. Now, this one I want to do something bigger. I want to give away 2. How do I do this? I got it. I got it. Woo! I know how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to be giving away, I like this. Now, last but not least, we're giving away 2 boxes, a round and a Magnum. So the way this is going to go, and the guys that already won can actually participate. Don't be greedy. Let the other guys win. Now, this one, you get 2. So I'm going to be giving away a round, and I'm going to be giving away a Magnum. So you have to guess one of the rounds that I have, and it doesn't matter if you say curve or not curve. If it's a Magnum, just say what Magnum. If it's a round liner, say what round liner. So when I say 3, you guys are going to tell me which needle do I have here. Either needle. It doesn't have to be both. So 1, 2, 3, and you go. Woo, woo, woo. I actually love to do this lives like that. And again, if you're missing this live for any reason, you got it started, or you're going to be able to watch the rerun of this live. Probably going to do a condensed version of this live. And yeah. All right, we have a winner. We have a winner. The winner is Idle Hand Tattoo. And forgive me if someone else said it, but I just say Idle Hand Tattoo because there's a little bit of a lag here. But Idle Hand Tattoo, you say that it was a 15 Magnum, and my man, you got right here a 15 Magnum, 5-round liner. So, Idle something tattoo, what was it? Idle Hand Tattoos. Now, guys, how to claim your needles? Very simple. Give the timestamp of when I announce your name. Okay, so go on YouTube, get a timestamp, and you know there's gotta be some validation just to make sure that you is you. So if you're Idle Hand Tattoo, maybe you're the same name on Instagram or something like that. But again, Idle Hand Tattoo wins actually 2 boxes rather than 1. And that's it, guys. This is it for today. Thank you for watching this video. Again, drop in the comments down below what else you want me to review about this needle. If there's any other product that you want me to review, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the notification buttons because now YouTube wants you to do both in order for you to get automatic launches. And with videos like this one, if I'm going to be talking and giving something away, you want to make sure that you jump online, you know, when I'm live rather than watch it later because these giveaways only happen live. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Remember, darklab.com, darklab.com. My God, sorry. Darklab.com. You can shop for these needles right now. Some configurations are actually sold out, but more needles are coming up very, very, very soon. The The bug pins are also coming up, and the textures are also coming up at darklab.com. Now, if you are a permanent makeup artist, we are going to have those tiny needles that you love also in a couple of weeks, as well as darklab.com and also on microview.com. Guys, thank you for watching this video. Have a nice weekend. See you again very soon. Take care.